14, 16, 18, 20, arms up. And again, faster. Go.
Danny, how are you feeling? How are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm good. Always looking forward to it. Got back into camp, got a few issues settled that was needed. And brushed up, got back in the gym, and then yeah, professional mindset, cracked on. Just do what we normally do.
How are you feeling, Danny?
Yeah, confident. You know, I know Bane is ready to fight. He's been putting the work in. We've got a team that are coming out on Fightzumi show. We've got 3 other fighters, but obviously, you know, Bane is going to be headlining it. We was ready to go at the last fight. You know, things didn't work out, but you know, we're ready again. We put the same work in, the same system that we run here at the gym, and he's ready. He's fit, he's firing, he's strong, and he's ready to kill. So November the 1st is going to be a good show. Fightzumi is always going to be an electric event, and we're coming to bring fireworks as well. So it is what it is.
So after last time, Danny, how did that make you feel when Bart obviously pushed you in the ring after we had the face
Oh
off?
yeah, for me, without getting so into it, that's life. He's in all his right to do that. It makes the show. It wasn't even that deep for me. Like, I have altercations every day. We're gonna fight. You know what I mean? On November the 1st. What happened, happened. But there will come a time we stand opposite each other. No one's gonna talk. Everyone steps away, and we're gonna stand there and throw it down. Bro, we fucking fight, bro. He pushed me, bro. It was fucking. I swung back at him. He took it. He ain't said nothing about it, and then we both agreed. November the 1st. Do you know what I mean? If I'm up in someone's face, I'm expecting someone to push me. If you don't, and you've just come out of a 5-round fight, and you don't have the adrenaline to even want me to get out your face, well, that's a you problem, bro. I said to Dan before, innit, make sure I keep it 100. Him as my witness. It was actually David Saar. He said something, but obviously he was just doing it to back it up. He was just like, easy work, and it just, boom, from then, it went, and as you saw it.
How did you feel about that, Dan, knowing that David was your first student, Bart was your student? He threw a very good kick in that.
Yeah, it's nothing personal, you know. It's just a fight game. It's what it is, you know. It goes from 0 to 100 just like that. But then at the end of it, as I said, it's not personal. This is just what we do, you know. The fighters, you know, he's a former fighter. David's a former fighter. Bart's one of my old fighters as well. Bane's a warrior as well, and it is what it is. You know, one, it's entertaining for the crowd and, you know, hypes the fight up, but at the end of the day, it's irrelevant come November the 1st, because, you know, we're going to go in there and smash him up, and we're there to smash him up, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
So obviously they both train under you. Do you feel like their intensity in their training is anywhere near what you bring?
No one's is. No, there's no one out there that does it. You know, I've trained all around the world. I've seen the, you know, the best of the best. I've trained with the best of the best, and then developed my style based on that. So, you know, they can try and, you know, use what we used to do back in the day, but it's always evolving. You know, I'm always learning about, you know, fighting, different aspects of fighting, training, and what brings out the best in the fighters, and just understanding my fighter as well. So, you know, we put in such serious work, and, you know, if you ever guys watch on Instagram or TikTok, the kind of work that we put on the videos, it's, you know, it's not just for the cameras. This is how we do. We live this day in and day out, and I know there's no one else out there that does the same. You know, I see what other guys do, and, you know, I don't need to disrespect anyone out there, but there's levels to this, and, you know, these guys are not on our level, and we're getting the results, and people are seeing that when our guys go in there to fight, guys and girls going in there to fight. We know we bring war, we bring hell, and these guys aren't ready for it. November the 1st is going to be exactly the same.
What are your kind of ambitions after this? So you said ISK British title is a huge achievement for you, and not to look past part, but what is?
Yeah, so for me it's more, I've had a transition, I'm getting older, and it's more finding yourself. Everyone's in their journeys. Because I've always come from a kickboxing, Muay Thai background, and it's always something I've enjoyed. I'm doing stuff for myself. It's not really about the opponent, it's more, I know what age I'm at. I know how many fights I'm gonna have left and what I want to achieve. So it's not really about anything else. I believe I'm on a level that I haven't shown yet. I believe I can fight at the highest level. And we're going to show it on November the 1st. I'm, inshallah, confident of this. Like I said, I give everyone their same respect. But to me, again, Bart's irrelevant in this whole situation. He might have a thing with Dan. That's on that. He's a big man. I'm a big man. I've got 3 kids. I look after my own household. And I think the same on his side. So for me, I know when it comes into the fight, you should be mentally prepared. You're a professional. You come from Dan. You should be switched on. If anything, the mindset you should have, I'm expecting you to come out fast, blazing, hard. That's what I'm ready for. So if you don't, then it's going to be a problem in my eyes.
You keep a professional attitude, professional, you know, training regimen, and it doesn't change. Obviously, you know, I know the fighter, You know, I know some of his skills, some of his weaknesses and stuff like that. So we're still just going to tailor what we do here to beat that opponent. And it's, you know, it's nothing more than that. I've known Bart for a while, but other than that, it's irrelevant. You know, this is my fighter. I know when Bane steps in the ring and does what he can do, you know, it's not like a discredit to Bart or, you know, putting him down. But when Bane walks in the ring and does what he can do, he's going to steamroll through him. You know, I'm confident on that, like, you know, confident on that, you know, to the point I'm not like, oh, you know, what if this and what if that? It's not even the case. When he goes in there and does what he can do, it's you know, shock and awe.
I'll live with whatever's ordained for me. And I've accepted the worst case scenario. One of us are gonna go face down. If you haven't accepted that, I'm gonna be coming at you like I know it. So throw. If I wake up, I wake up. Well, I've got plans, you're gonna all go to sleep before me. That's it.
You know, I trained him for a couple of years when I was training at the youth academy, you know, and he pulled out of 3 or 4 fights in a row, and you know, and I realised he wasn't serious. You know, as much as he's talented, for me, he didn't have, you know, the level of professionalism and mental attitude to make it at the top. You know, and I said to him after his 4th pull-out in a row for no good reason, I'm not wasting my time putting my name on the line, getting you any more fights after that. And then I focused on some of the other guys that I've got that I was training that were serious. You know, guys like Kingsley and Joanne, who both went on to train at GB with Bane and start fighting on Cage Warriors, my son, you know, Dylan, some of the guys on the wall, if you're taking pictures on the walls in the gym, you know, some of the guys who are serious, those are the guys that I was focusing on. And then, you know, Bart fell off for a time, didn't have any fights, maybe had 1 or 2 fights, you know, lost a couple of fights and was doing his own thing. He then came into the gym, into this gym at the beginning of the year, and just walked in out of the blue and just like, you know, kind of almost wanted to come running up to me like the prodigal son for me to give him these big open arms hug and all the rest of it. And it's like, that's not really the case. You know, you was training at another gym in Ilford around the corner, doing your own thing over there, took your son over there training, good luck to them over there. You know, but I'm focused on what we're doing here. You know, we've got a strong team here and that's all our focus is. So, you know, it's not personal, that's what happened back in the day, but that's all by the by. You know, he's up there training with David. You know, David is, you know, I still consider David a good friend. He was at my wedding. You know, he named his son after me. You know, that was the kind of bond that we had back then. So it's nothing personal, even with what happened in the ring. Afterwards, we was upstairs laughing and joking about it. Me, David, Bart, and one of our other guys, Kido, you know, was up there laughing about it, you know, how it just went like from 0 to 100 like that. And, you know, it's unnecessary. And then there was a little back and forth going online. But, you know, exactly what Bane said, like, we're big men. Like, you know, he's got 3 kids, I've got 9 kids and a grandson. I've got no time to be worrying about little small talk with Bart on Instagram and getting into little beef like that. We're professionals. You know, we've got 4 fighters out there on Fightzumi. I'm looking for 4 solid wins. I don't have time to be, you know, into little tit for tat. I expect, you know, all of our fighters, B's going to steamroll the guy from, what's that plum from GB top team? He's going to steamroll him. Yasmin's going to work her skills. Jonathan's going to come back on the winning trail. And Bane's going to destroy this guy. You know, that's not me being arrogant or big-headed or trash talk. Bane's going to walk through this guy, and I expect nothing less. You know, then we move on. This is what we do. It's that. So, you know, he showed in that last fight against Josh, although he got smashed to pieces in the first, two rounds or so, you know, that although Josh started to tire, but he showed a bit of resilience there, you know, which is what we instill. So he's not going to, you know, he's not going to be a walkover. He's going to stand and, you know, put up a fight as long as his body and his mind can hold up for it. But when he gets the pressure from Bane, it's not going to be for long. His boxing skills are not terrible. You know, he does like to mix up, you know, kicks in there as well, but, you know, he's not the same guy that I was training back in the day. He doesn't train the same. You know, the weaknesses are there. He's got a lot of mileage on the clock. He's from what I saw in his last 2 fights, one against Josh, which he actually won the fight, but the one he got knocked out in 15 seconds, he's fragile. You know, when Bane puts that pressure on him, that real pressure that he's going to bring and starts, you know, driving shots into him, you're going to see this guy crumble like, you know, like crockery. So I'm not fussed about that. What's his strengths other than that? Punch through the target and again.
I'm too solid, too strong, fast, powerful, mindset, good. You have to come against me. I don't look at you, I couldn't give a shit what you're good at and what you do and what man you are in the gym and you go there and everyone in the gym is sitting there. Do you know what I mean? You might be the man in the gym, everyone praising you when you had your little win and oh yeah, you go down London. Bro, I couldn't give a fuck, bro. If I'm being dead honest with you. No, I don't lose no sleep. I couldn't give a fuck if you're a world champion. I believe I'm one of the best to do it. Show me otherwise. I'm not the one who decides anything. Do you know what I mean? How people want to see it. How I've got it in my head and how I've planned everything, the way I've tied my camel, boom, I'm going to collapse him. That's it. I walk through him. Everything that I've studied on him, I'm going to see that little tick. He'll throw his little combination, then he'll shell up, and then I'm going to breathe on you, bro. and hear me breathing in your ears and that, but we'll see.
Dan, quick prediction from you, please, sir.
We're there to win, you know, and simple as what does the steamroller do to anything in front of it? It's just going to walk straight over it. He's going to flatten him and walk straight over it. Simple as that.